Welcome, dear viewers. Today, we embark on an exhilarating journey through the life of one of the Bible's most fascinating figures, Daniel. This astonishing young man exemplifies unwavering faith, extraordinary courage, and remarkable wisdom. So, grab a seat and prepare to be inspired as we delve deep into the story of Daniel, the prophet who dared to stand firm in the face of cultural upheaval. Daniel was born in Jerusalem around 620 BC. A member of the royal family, he belonged to a noble lineage. But his life took a dramatic turn when the Babylonian Empire invaded Jerusalem in 586 BC. The conquest was ruthless, and many young men were taken captive, including our protagonist, Daniel. Imagine being ripped from your homeland, forced to leave behind everything you knew. But instead of spiraling into despair, Daniel demonstrated resilience. The Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar sought to assimilate these captives into his culture, and Daniel, along with 3 friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, was taken to the king's court for training in the ways of the Chaldeans. In Babylon, Daniel and his friends were immersed in a whirlwind of education and cultural exposure, learning the language, literature, and customs of the Chaldeans. But here's the twist. Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine, feeling it compromised his Jewish identity and faith. The stakes were high. By rejecting the king's provisions, Daniel risked severe punishment. Yet he approached the chief official with a bold proposal. Instead of royal terms, he sought a simple diet of vegetables and water for 10 days, promising that they would appear healthier than the king's men. Talk about faith in action! Miraculously, after 10 days, Daniel and his friends appeared healthier and better nourished than those eating the royal food. This resulted in a remarkable favor from the chief official, confirming God's faithfulness and protection over them. From this moment, Daniel begins his journey not just as a captive, but as a chosen vessel of God's purpose. The wisdom and understanding granted to Daniel surpassed that of all the magicians and enchanters in the kingdom. Soon, he was appointed to a high position within the royal court, serving Nebuchadnezzar, thus becoming a key player in the unfolding of divine plans. Now, let's dive into one of the most riveting episodes of Daniel's life, the interpretation of King Nebuchadnezzar's disturbing dreams. The king was troubled by visions of a colossal statue made of various materials: gold, silver, bronze, iron, and clay. In his quest for answers, he summoned all the wise men of Babylon, demanding they not only reveal the dream, but also interpret its meaning. Enter our hero, Daniel, who confidently proclaimed that he could interpret the dream, not because of his own wisdom, but through divine revelation from God. With prayers and supplication, Daniel received insight into the king's dream, unveiling a prophetic outline of human history. He explained the significance of each material representing different kingdoms, culminating in a divine kingdom that would never be destroyed. As the narrative unfolds, we see King Nebuchadnezzar's pride grow as he constructs a massive golden statue, demanding all to bow before it. But our steadfast friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refuse to worship the idol, remaining resolute to their faith in the one true God. Their unwavering devotion ignited the king's fury, resulting in their arrest and a looming death sentence in a blazing furnace. But when thrown into the fire, a miraculous sight unfolded. They stood unscathed, accompanied by a mysterious fourth figure, often interpreted as a divine presence. Nebuchadnezzar, witnessing this divine rescue, could not help but acknowledge the power of God. Such was the greatness of their faith. It not only saved them, but transformed a king's heart. Fast forward to the reign of King Belshazzar, Nebuchadnezzar's grandson. In a moment of sacrilege, amidst a grand feast, Belshazzar used sacred vessels from the temple in Jerusalem. Suddenly, fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote a cryptic message on the wall, a divine proclamation of judgment. None of the king's wise men could interpret the writing, plunging the banquet into chaos. But Daniel, now older and wiser, was summoned once more. He boldly interpreted the message, declaring God had numbered the days of Belshazzar's kingdom, weighing it against his actions and declaring it finished. As fate would have it, Daniel continued to serve faithfully under the new royal authority. Jealous officials, seeking to undermine his position, tricked the king into enacting a decree that prohibited prayer to anyone except the king himself. But did Daniel waver? Absolutely not. He persisted in his habit of praying 3 times a day to Yahweh, undeterred by the threat of persecution. This bold defiance led to his imprisonment in a den of hungry lions, a fate that most would find terrifying.